Okay, this episode is about Ogilby, California. It's January 7th, 2019. This is all BLM lands out here, and it's free camping. And I'm just going to start practicing. I like to, as a hobby, I throw knives, and I found this railroad tie out here. Sunk a hole a couple feet down. I'm just going to give it a quick shot here. Haven't practiced today, so forgive me if I'm throwing lousy. Yeah, that one's stuck. Well, hit the target, but didn't stick. Yeah, not very good, but 2 out of 3. Anyway, I'm not going to play around with this. It usually takes me about 10 minutes of warm up to get good and consistent. So anyway, it's really nice if you don't mind the desert area, especially this time of the year. It's just the temperatures are so nice. And my campsite's right over here. And the BLM, it's all public land, and the BLM manages it for the public. So that's why it's free. And you're allowed to camp for 2 weeks, and then you have to leave for 2 weeks. You can go to another BLM area, but they want you to move like about 10 miles away. Then you can come back again. It doesn't cost anything. And I picked a site where there's a lot of trees. Some areas out here, it's just a lot of sagebrush and stuff. Sun's just going down here. They have a lot of roads out here, the BLM. They're 3-digit numbers on posts, and they want you to stay within 300 feet if you're going to camp out here. 300 feet of their roads. They're all dirt roads, and some are 4-wheel drive, so if you're going to pull a trailer or motorhome out here, I would recommend check them out first, because some of them you can only get through with the 4-wheel drive. I've got 200 watts of solar up on the top there, and another 100 watts on the ground. That's a 300 watt system. I have 2 separate solar systems. The 300 watt system, okay, there's my other 100 watts on the ground. That runs off of 3 deep cycle batteries. And then I have a 600 watt system, which works on these monocrystalline flexible panels, they call them. They're wafer thin, they're super light. They're only about 4 pounds each. I really like them. Right now I only have the 300 watts hooked up. And then up on top I have a different system. But these have their own battery bank and separate charge controller, separate inverter. Got those running off a 3,000 watt inverter. And that system there is running an electric heater, a large freezer unit, so I can store a lot of food, when I'm out boondocking. And also, most RVs come with the big 15,000 BTU air conditioner on top, but you need a lot of power, a lot of solar power to run them. So what I did was I installed a 5,000 BTU air conditioner on the back here, and my 600 watt system ran this AC unit for 5 hours. But if you want to run it every day, you're really going to have to get maybe 1,200 watts going to run an AC, even a small AC like this. But this cools down the trailer really nice. This is a 22-foot trailer. It's about 150 square feet, and it'll cool down really nice inside, just with the 5,000 BTU. So that's why I installed this separate system, but I'm going to have to go from the 600 watts up to about 1,200 watts if I'm going to run that AC unit every day. Anyway, one of the cool things I like about it out here is there were gold mines, deep shaft gold mining in the 1880s up to about 1920. Most of them went defunct in these mountains back here. And I do, as another hobby of mine, is gold prospecting. So I've been going around getting soil samples at some of the deep dry wash areas down from some of the mines, and you can find some flour gold. I did find my best time. I did find 3 small pieces of flour gold, and matter of fact, I went out today and tried another spot. I take soil samples first, and then you're going to be, here's my gold pan, and you put 2 classifier screens, one fine mesh and then one coarse mesh. Pour everything in there. I actually have a water tub out on my campsite here. So I bring the soil samples back, and I mark exactly where I took the soil samples. So if I find gold, you know, I can find the exact spot. And then I put it in the tub there. Got to add a little more water tomorrow. And I pan out the samples here on the campsite. So anyway, to find this whole BLM area, and it's many square miles. And right now, I would say my nearest campers are 3/4 of a mile away. I mean, there's a few people way back there, maybe a mile or so. But you're going to take Route 8. If you're in Yuma, you're going to head west on Route 8. And when you see the Ogilby Road exit, and the exit that says Blythe, California, B-L-Y-T-H-E, that exit, you're going to head about 3.5 miles. You're going to hit some railroad tracks. As soon as you go over the railroad tracks, on the right, you're going to see Sidewinder Road, and you're going to see American Girl Mine Road, about 50 feet further down. And that takes you out into all this area out here, which, like I said, is free camping. As far as, you know, it's all primitive camping, obviously. But if you, at the Ogilby Road exit on Route 8, if you head another 3.5 miles west, there's a rest stop. And that's where I get my fresh water, good drinking water there for free. And they have dumpsters where you can throw all your garbage and stuff. And if you head in the opposite direction, heading east towards Yuma, about 5 or 6 miles down, I forget the name of that exit there, but there's a long-term visitor area called Pilot Knob, and you'll see a gas station right at that exit, and they have a dump station, so that's where you can bring your gray water and black water. If you got a Blue Boy tank, you can just bring that down there, and they charge me $8 for dumping 50 gallons of gray water and black water. So that takes care of all that kind of stuff if you're boondock camping. And I don't know if most of you know about the Blue Boys. They call them a Blue Boy. I'll give you a quick rundown. There's different sizes. I have a 25-gallon Blue Boy. And that's right here. Okay, that's got the typical sewer hookup, and it's on wheels. And I put this cargo carrier on my Jeep, and then I have a ramp, and I can dump my RV tank into this and roll it up on here, and then take it to the dump station. This way I don't have to take my whole camp down and bring the RV there and everything else. Okay, but that's your typical sewer hookup, which my tanks are underneath, and this is where you're gonna dump from here to the Blue Boy. And right now I've got a lot of heat tape on there, just in case there's ever freezing temperatures. I can turn that on, prevent your tanks, because they're just underneath. They're not insulated or anything. So anyway, I thought you'd like to see this episode where I'm camping in 2019 for the winter. And if you like solitude, and you like desert fox, there's a lot of those out here. They're very friendly. They'll come right up to you and, you know, begging for food and stuff. But you got to be careful. They do carry, some of them carry rabies, so. But they're cute little guys, and they're very friendly. And other than that, you got lizards, you got scorpions, you know, you got some different types of critters out in the desert. I am getting 40 channels, free TV channels with my pop-up antenna, but unfortunately they're in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, so. But there are a few good English channels in there too. And that right there is my SSB antenna. Goes way up. That's single sideband radio. And you can skip channels, skip your signal off the ionosphere and get literally up to 2,000 mile range with, say, a 60 watt SSB system. And, you know, that's free. You know, you can talk to people all over the country with one of those. And trying to think if there's anything else I forgot to say. I am getting 2 bars of 4G service, so I have internet out here, because the main radio tower is right at the Ogilby Road exit, and that's, as the crow flies, that's only about 3 or 4 miles from here. And your rule of thumb with getting high speed internet, if you're within 5 miles typically of a main highway, they usually have radio towers along the exits on your main highway. So if you're boondock camping and you can stay within 5 miles of a main highway, you're most likely gonna get internet service, high-speed 4G service. So anyway, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to cover. I'm sure I probably forgot something, but anyway, it's a really cool place out here. I really like it, and you know, you're avoiding those terrible temperatures they're having up in the northern states and East Coast and everywhere else. So anyway, hope you like this about Ogilby Road, the BLM lands out here. This is Eric signing off.